Hi there, Kevin Muldoon here. In this video what I'd like to do is talk about whether the Google Nexus 6P is a good smartphone for recording video logs, vlogs for YouTube or for Vimeo, etc. Traditionally I would say that a smartphone is not a good option for recording video logs, and the reason being that there's cameras out there, for example the Sony RX100 series, they're a lot more feature packed, they've got better specifications and they can record higher quality video and better audio, etc. Smartphone technology is actually getting to the point where you don't actually need to bring a dedicated recording device for that, but we're not quite there yet. But the thing that smartphones have got going for it are that they're always with you. You always have your smartphone in your pocket, and that's why many people are starting to use their smartphones for vlogging. One of the reasons I was looking towards the Google Nexus 6P was because it can do 4K recording. Now, I'm actually recording using the Google Nexus 6P just now, which is why it's not in my hand. I'm recording using the back camera sensor, and I'm recording in 4K video. I've not modified the video in any way, I've not enhanced it in any way. I've not modified the audio, which is why the audio might not be as good as it usually is, because I normally use this Zoom audio recorder or one of the microphones that I have, but I've purposely left this unedited so that you can get an idea of what the quality is like for the Google Nexus 6P for the audio and the video. The only thing I have done is I've set up some lights just now to light up the room because it's past 4 PM in Scotland, and in the winter it's pitch black at this time. Very depressing, but that's what we need to deal with. So I've got lights on just now so that you can see me. Now, whether the Google Nexus 6P is a good device for recording vlogs for YouTube, I think the answer is yes and no, and it really comes down to whether you're using the front camera or the back camera. Now, from a practical point of view, if you're vlogging, it's so much easier to hold the smartphone up like that and just hold it like that so that you can see yourself and just click record and click stop. So you'll be using the front camera sensor. Now, unfortunately, the front camera sensor is not usually as powerful as the back camera sensor, and it's the same with the Google Nexus 6P. The front camera sensor is 8 megapixels, but it can record at 1080p. The back camera sensor can actually record 4K. You can't do that with the front sensor. But the practicality holding a camera the other way, it just doesn't work, With the camera, you can hold it up with a selfie stick like that and you can click record, but it's really difficult to do that with the back camera. Actually, I tried it myself. I clicked record with the 4K and I flipped it around and I started talking just to kind of test it and see what the audio was like. But when I started playing the video, I had my face there and then it went down and I wasn't even showing my face in the video. And that's unfortunately something you're going to have to deal with, because when you can't see what you're recording, there's always that worry, especially if you're walking around, there's always that worry that you're not capturing what you should be capturing. And if you only get one chance to capture something, that's going to be a real pain. I did find though that using it with the front camera was fine. It was fine. The only thing I would say is, because the Google Nexus 6P is such a big device, it has its power button and the volume controls in the middle, and I've got a little holder that holds smartphones onto like a tripod, onto something like that, or the tripod that it's on just now, and it was touching the buttons. So what I had to do was I had to kind of put the device away to one side, so it's not centered just now. I had to put it, it's kind of leaning towards one side just now when I'm recording because of that, because I didn't want to touch the buttons. But I guess that's partly to blame for the holder, the connector that goes into the tripod rather than the phone itself. One of the bigger problems though is image optimization. Now, this phone doesn't have image optimization. It doesn't have image stabilization. Sorry, it doesn't have OIS. Now OIS is a way for the hardware to resolve shakiness. It's something that I don't have a big problem with. I've got a little action camera in there, and that's something I didn't really have a big problem with the action camera, because all the shakiness is taken out. But there is EIS, which is electronic image stabilization, and it's really just a software version of it. It doesn't seem to work as well. The problem is that on the Google Nexus 6P, EIS can only be used when you're recording 1080p video. It's it's not an option when you're recording 4K video. So what that means is if you're actually walking around with your Google Nexus 6P and you're recording videos in 4K, it's going to be a little bit shaky. And that's a problem when you're vlogging, because a lot of time when you're vlogging, it's, you know, you're going to be walking around, you're going to be shaking about. And that was a big problem that I had with my last phone as well, the HTC One M8. That didn't have image stabilization either. So as a vlogging device for YouTube, if you're going to be using the front camera sensor, if you're going to be using that to take videos, I think the Google Nexus 6P is as good as any other smartphone out at the moment. You know, you can check reviews and see what other people could say. Perhaps it's not as good as something like the Samsung S6 or the Edge, or even the Apple iPhone 6s, but I think it has everything you need. You know, it's got a good camera. It's whether you think the speaker is okay, but the microphone, sorry, but the big disappointment, not the big disappointment, I mean it's to be expected, but the thing that I was kind of disappointed was what I was hoping for, some sort of 4K recording from the front sensor, and the technology just isn't there yet. You're going to get 4K recording in the back sensor, so if you're out and about you can record 4K videos, and as long as you keep it steady it should be okay. But if you're vlogging and you're walking around, it's not going to be good, you know. So you really should be using that front sensor if you're vlogging. So I guess my opinion on it is, yes, if you're recording 1080p videos, the Google Nexus 6P is good for vlogs. If you want to record 4K videos, it just isn't practical, because you need to switch it around and you need to mess around with it. And the whole point of recording vlogs is you do it quickly, and you know, you do it and then you upload it, and you're not messing about with too much editing, you're not messing about with too much things, you know, with tripods and things like that. So I would say it's a good vlogging device for 1080p, but not for 4K. So whilst it can record 4K videos, it's just not going to work, because what you're going to have to do is do what I'm doing just now and set it up on a tripod, and that's not always what you want when you're doing a vlog. But you can still do it. I mean, I'm recording just now using it on the tripod. I'm still recording a video. So if you're stationary, if you've got a tripod, you might want to record in 4K instead of 1080p. That's up to you. But let me know what you think in the comment area, because I think a lot of everything that I'm saying here about the Google Nexus 6P, about the pros and the cons, I think a lot of it is applicable to other smartphones in the market just now. And I think, again, it just comes back to where the technology is at the moment. It just isn't there. I think we're maybe a year or two away from we're getting 4K recording on the front sensor and the back sensor, and then I think it's going to be really hard for electronic companies such as Sony to market RX100 when you get the front sensor and the back sensor on smartphones doing just as good a job. But I hope you've enjoyed this video anyway, and again, just to remind you, I have recorded this video in 4K using your Google Nexus 6P, and the audio has not been altered. So what you're listening to, what you're looking at just now, is what you'll get when you record from the back sensor on the Google Nexus 6P. Hope you've enjoyed the video, guys, and as always, if you've enjoyed the video, please consider liking or subscribing. But again, please do leave a comment below. I love getting your questions and I'll do my best to answer them. Till next time, guys, thanks for watching.